I made a video earlier today talking about how it's a slow news day and there's not much going on, so I just spend my Sunday playing video games. Little did I know that today would be one of the biggest news drops in the video game industry in a very, very long time. And no, I'm not just saying that for clickbait and attention. This is a big deal. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Microsoft is going multi-platform for what seems like every big game. Well, Halo hasn't been mentioned, but give it a second. I'm sure eventually that's going to pop its head up too. They are looking right now specifically to move games over to the PlayStation 5. If that doesn't admit defeat in the console wars, I don't know what does. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for my full article breaking down this insane news break. Microsoft is looking to go multi-platform. Specifically, this news broke from a website called XboxEra, talking about how Starfield is getting prepped for a PlayStation 5 launch. Since then, other news sources have joined in. The Verge has jumped in, talking about how Bethesda is considering bringing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle to the PlayStation 5. Hi-Fi Rush is announced for non-Xbox platforms, and that's also expected in the coming weeks. And they have a new multi-platform approach emerging inside of Microsoft. And specifically from The Verge, they said, we're told with the company weighing up which titles will remain exclusive and others that will appear on Switch or PlayStation 5 in the future. Indiana Jones appears to be part of this new wave of multi-platform games. And this is something that I kind of got the notice around early pre-holidays, Christmas 2023, when the Xbox Series X was going on sale, multiple locations for $350 USD. Regular price $500. And I'm like, that's curious, because that's a gigantic price drop for a next generation console that seems to be doing just fine. They have the Xbox Series S selling at $300. They have an all new digital console that they plan on revealing that got leaked earlier. Xbox seemed to have all their ducks in a row, but then they had that price slash, and I was like, that's just interesting. Why would they do that unless they're trying to get out of physical games altogether, which that news broke last week where Xbox was saying, yeah, we don't see a future in this. They had a massive layoff in their physical games department. Was it 1,900 people? And it looked to be that they were focusing specifically on Game Pass moving forward. But now we have this news breaking. And honestly, just looking at it surface level, all the information in front of me, it looks like Microsoft is waving the white flag saying Sony has won this console war generation. PlayStation 5 is it if you want to move forward with gaming right now. And that's not a slight against Microsoft Xbox Series X and Series S. It's just the fact. When you look at the consoles and the output of these games, both consoles did pretty much the same thing. Sure, you can get into the nitty-gritty specifics of teraflops and gigabits and which one has the shading in the right spots and everything, but ultimately, for the average gamer, both the consoles serve the public perfectly well. There was really no need for two of them to be competing against each other, which is why Microsoft is kind of changing their tune moving forward right now and saying, you know what? Yeah.
My name is Sarah Bond. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the head of ecosystem for Xbox.
Where Sarah Bond was saying, yeah, we did want to fight this exclusive arms race with Sony and get these exclusive games and make everyone come over to Microsoft, and they realized that they weren't winning that race and it wasn't worth fighting anymore. So now they're going an alternative direction where they can make their games, buy all these big companies, have them created, and yes, still have them sold on Microsoft and PC platforms, but in addition to that, make more money by selling them somewhere else, in this case, Sony PlayStation 5. And sure, Microsoft isn't new to this multi-platform. I mean, they've done Minecraft on pretty much every platform under the sun since they bought Mojang, But still, this is mind-blowing news that it is leaked that Microsoft will be coming out to announce that all these games, outside of Halo so far, will be going multi-platform. Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Indiana Jones, Starfield, just to name a few off the top of my head. But you go through this list, and it is a massive amount of games that Microsoft is now considering to put on the Sony PlayStation 5. And ultimately, I look at this as a win for gamers. They don't have to fight to get every single console to play every single new game. If Microsoft goes multi-platform, then people would only need to buy a Switch and a PlayStation 5, and they'd be able to have their gaming on the go with the Switch and play their next-gen games on the PlayStation 5 and be good with it. That's really, at the end of the day, I don't think something to fight about. I look at this as a net positive. But it does make me question Microsoft's strategy moving forward in the console race. Will there be another Xbox moving forward ever? Like, yes, they're making that adorably all-digital Xbox Series X that won't have a disk drive that was leaked last year. But beyond that, will there ever be another Microsoft Xbox? Or are they completely shifting their dynamic and direction and going strictly to being a behemoth game developer and publisher that owns a ton of different developers making huge AAA titles across the board for the game industry and putting them out for other consoles? It is an interesting dynamic, and again, I look at this as a good thing. It could turn out bad. I'm not going to make it sound like this is the only way you can look at it, but as a gamer, I'm like, yeah, put them on more consoles. Give more people the opportunity to play these games. That is, at the end of the day, what it's all about. But I can't help but look at the situation and be like, Microsoft really can't figure out the direction of where they want to go with their gaming department. They've been all over the map. It seems like it completely shifts the direction and dynamic every couple of years, and that is not sustainable for a company to keep making games and making consoles. But this is the reality. This is the future, whether it be physical or all digital. Right now, at least Microsoft is migrating over to making PlayStation 5 games, if this is to be believed. Yes, I guess currently it's a leak/rumor because Microsoft hasn't said anything, but there are multiple major sources out there reporting this news that it will come out and Microsoft will say it. And that is going to shift the dynamic of the entire video game industry. Specifically, according to XboxEra's sources that were close to the matter, who preferred to remain anonymous at this time, they said the decision to bring Starfield specifically to PlayStation 5 comes after the planned release of the Shattered Space expansion for Xbox and PC, and that's anticipated later this year. Microsoft's investment in additional PlayStation 5 development kits indicate a significant commitment to this new direction, fueling plenty of speculation and excitement within the gaming community that Microsoft is no longer going to specifically be developing games just for the Xbox Series S and X, but now for multi-platform, multi-console. There is still a ton of news to come out about this eventually, but I wanted to bring this to you guys as soon as I heard about it. And again, special thanks to XboxEra for the information of the leak. And then it came out to The Verge and other sources combining in the industry saying, yeah, it's kind of the secret that everyone's already known. Insiders have been talking about for a while that this is the direction that Microsoft is ultimately landing on. Whether it works out for them or not in the future remains to be seen. But as of right now, that's the information I have, and I will keep you guys posted on anything else that I see that's interesting about this. But yeah, if I were in the market for a new console, I would definitely be thinking about a PlayStation 5 currently and not an Xbox Series X or Series S. Because Sony still has their exclusives, and in addition to those, you should be able to eventually start playing some of these originally exclusive Xbox games on PlayStation as well. And that doesn't even talk about any games that could potentially be coming to the Switch, assuming that they're able to get them to run at an acceptable frame rate, which is going to be a challenge in itself currently. But the Nintendo Switch 2 is something that I'm sure Microsoft is keen to keep their eye on. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this information in the comments below. And check out SmashJT.com for all the information, sources, references. I'll put a link in the description to that article. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
Smash, Smash.